and you'll learn a lot of new things. The reason for this call, as Austin said, we do marketing, right? And the reason why we decided to do this kind of calls and also we do business consulting is because we feel like if you as a business owner doing better, it helps us as your marketing agency to perform better, because once you have a great escape rooms, once you have everything, all systems dialed in properly, it's just makes you more profitable, makes you more successful, and makes our job easier. And so thank you so much for joining. We hope you're going to enjoy it. And Austin, giving it back to you. And yeah, let's probably start.
Cool. Okay, so Andy is here today. Andy does not need an introduction, but basically, I'm going to do a slight one. So Andy is the brains and the fun behind Morty. So he's the CEO, basically on the mission to find the next escape room and immersive adventure and make it easy and exciting for people to get involved with it. Maybe the person that's never done an escape room before, they can find everyone on Morty and find the best escape rooms on Morty. And he has a background of tech, art, and storytelling, and he's basically the guy that can turn a crazy idea into a full-blown interactive experience. So if you've ever looked at his social media profile, all the way from blockchain puzzles to planning weekend thrills, like he's pushing the boundaries on everything, on having a good time. So Andy, thank you so much for being here, and I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. Thanks, Austin. Those boosted my confidence. Not sure I'm worthy of all that. Okay, so I prepared a quick deck to kind of walk through the main topic, Best of Morty, some other things. I would say as I'm going, please interrupt me. Truly, feel free to just shout out. If you drop it in the comments, I probably won't see it. Easier to just talk. So feel free to stop and talk at me, but we'll definitely have time for questions as we're going through. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to attempt to share a Chrome tab. Can you guys all see this?
Yep, we see it.
Okay, great. So as Austin said, I work all the time on Morty. Morty is the app to find every escape room truly in the Western world. We've got 50,000+ attractions listed. People use it to find games near them, book tickets, track and rate what they've done, wish list things, connect with other people, see what their friends are doing, all kinds of fun stuff. The why behind Morty, why is Morty? We love what escape room owners are creating, right? We're truly fans. We think that the theme park has sort of been unbundled in the last 10 years due to the availability of new technologies and things like Arduino and Raspberry Pi, and also just an increase in, consumer demand for more engaging, interactive, interesting activities that just, everything has to compete with TikTok, but we love that you guys are getting people together in person, which I think is a really healthy thing to do something fun. We named it after Mortimer Mouse, which was Walt Disney's throwaway name for Mickey that his wife hated, because we think there's sort of an underground theme park that you guys are building, and we want to have the honor of being the ones to try to connect it together. Morty's not a booking system. It's not a discount tool, and we really try not to be Yelp because, we're not changing scores based on, who we're friends with or who DMs us or pays us money or anything like that. But let's see. Another just quick note, Morty kind of started as being really mainly for enthusiasts, right? Who else is going to download an app just dedicated to escape rooms, but somebody that's really engaged in escape rooms? That's very much where we began. Today, we have a huge user base of people that are kind of newer players too. On the enthusiast side, it's about 100,000 people that have downloaded Morty on iOS, Android, and they've logged 1 million experiences. It's kind of growing fast there. But on the new player side, it's about 60,000 new players a month. People find us via social media, via Google search, stuff like that, just to kind of give a general awareness of who's using Morty. So about the Best of Morty, right? Best of Morty is kind of our attempt to highlight what games do you have to play if you're in a certain area, right? We like to think of it sort of like the early days of the Michelin Guide, not the current days where Michelin Guide helps you find fancy restaurants where you can get foam on your food. which I think is like, I love Rich Bragg, by the way, who does the Tribeca Awards, and I think they're amazing. But I feel like that's like the elite of the elite, right? And he does a really good job with that. And that's just like, if you're going to fly somewhere to play a game, what should you do? Morty is like, I'm here, right? I'm in Indiana. What should I do? And that's kind of where Michelin started. The early days of the guide, it was a tire company. You guys probably know this. And it was just like, I'm driving on the road, right? Roads are interconnecting things now. What should I do while I'm there? Where should I eat? And that's what we're going for. And yeah, we really think that there is kind of a new, like, interconnected, immersive, set of entertainment that we're trying to connect. So that's the why. So let me get to the meat of it. How do you win a best of Morty? These are the factors, right? The formula, the exact, math is secret, but these are all the factors that actually go into it. What ratings were received in the last year? And best of Morty, is hundreds of thousands of ratings. So it's people from all across our user base. It's really kind of like the people choosing this, right? So what ratings did your game receive for the 2024 award? It would be in the year 2024. How many ratings were received? Regionality is another factor we look at. So we try to sort of make it so that maybe there are so many escape rooms in Orlando and Central Florida that, it could be the kind of thing where the games that win in those regions would just sort of keep winning year over year over year over year, because people are just like, the rich kind of get richer. So regionality is kind of our attempt to push against that a little bit and make it so that less dense markets still have a chance of winning, even though there's probably a lot more people and a lot more avid players in the really dense markets. So it's a little bit harder to win in Orlando than it is in Kansas City, let's say. That's a slight kind of de-weighting that we do, but it's worth noting. And the regionality there in the US, it's state by state, it's country by country in the rest of the world. And yeah, that's basically how that works. The venue has to be open, and variety is a factor we introduced for the first time in 2024. And I think we might have gone a little bit overboard on it, to be honest. So we'll probably keep it, but scale it back a little bit. But we basically said, it's sort of like regionality. If we can, again, like, make sure that we keep the rich from getting richer, we only give out so many of these awards each year, usually about 200. Maybe a venue that wins a first award, it's a little bit harder for them to win a second one because they already have a little bit of momentum behind that first one, a little bit of gravity and inertia, and like, let's push against that. And I think we pushed too much, honestly. So we'll keep it, but do a little bit less next time. The main factor in winning a Best of Morty award is ratings, right? So that's really it. Like, this is the main secret. Of course, have good games, have great customer service. I think those are the two main factors in getting a good rating, are the debrief after the game, talking to people, and having great quality content. But to get more ratings, you've got to ask for them. I think that asking, based on what I've seen and talking to hundreds and hundreds of owners, asking when the player is there on site probably is the best way to get them to rate you. We are happy to send you guys Morty materials. We do this for free right now. Maybe we'll have to charge at some point for it, but we'll ship them to you. Big box of flyers that are keyed specifically to your venues. You get all kinds of other benefits actually just from new players signing up with those QR codes, but it makes it a little bit easy for you to tell people about it. And I mentioned the QR totem because I feel like this is probably, you guys know your lobby and your customer flow much better than I do. But if there's one single pattern I've seen that tends to work quite well, it's having like 3 big QR codes. Maybe it's on a column on the way out, or maybe it's on a wall, but it's somewhere on the way out. And then, you point your players towards wherever you want them to go. If they've played, only like 1-0 games before, 2 games, you might send them to Google or Yelp or TripAdvisor, wherever you want to get them to rate you. If they've played, I would say like 3 to 5 games, that's a good candidate to say, hey, have you heard of Morty, right? So it's just quickly, have you heard of Morty? If yes, I would love it if you could rate us on there. If no, it's an app to find all the escape rooms, right? Here's a flyer, check it out. That person's probably going to rate you. I see we got a hand raised, so I can pause for a sec.
Hey, this is Jamie Smith. I'm
Hey.
from KE Mobile, and we don't have room for something this size. So we have NFC cards that people can tap with their phone, and it goes straight to your site. But if they're not already signed up, they can't seem to leave a review. Is that on purpose? Is there something I'm doing wrong?
So you've got NFCs. The NFC. So what we usually do is, I can send you a link. Feel free to anybody can email me, andy@morty.app. Take my email, shoot me an email after this, and I'll get back to you. We can send you the right kind of URL to use for your venue, and that URL will get somebody to either the iPhone or Android page to download the app if they don't have it already, or it'll bring up the app if they do have it. And if they do have it, usually the app's going to be centered, geolocated right at your store, so they'll see your games. What we'd love to have it do, but it doesn't do yet, the QR, is bring them directly to your venue page. We'll get there, but it's kind of close enough, I would say. So,
well, we're mobile, so that's not working for us at all.
But if you, on that NFC card, you can embed the same exact URL, that same kind of referral URL, and it'll automatically direct them to the right app store for their phone. Does that make sense? Is it a programmable NFC, tappable card?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So shoot me an email. I'll give you the URL to program into it, and we could see how that works. That should work a little bit better.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Please don't get all your cousins to rate you on Morty. We do check for fraud when we're looking at the Best of Morty awards, especially. It's fairly automated in terms of us calculating everything, but then we do a manual check of everything. Most owners are super honest, so we see this rarely, but occasionally we got to deal with some stuff. And yeah, if I see one rating from an owner for their game, that's fine. You get a pass. You get a 1 rating pass. I'm not mad at it. Go for it. What else? Asking for more ratings. Yeah, there's something that we're launching soon. This is just like a very quick pitch, but this is still very much under wraps. I may have talked to a couple people on the call about this, but in the next few weeks, there's something we're launching called Morty Pass. This is basically our attempt at like a loyalty card spanning many escape room venues, because it doesn't make sense for most indie operators to create, a punch card. So this is something we're launching. It's going to make people more likely to want to book your games on Morty as opposed to other games. Players are going to get a stamp for each person in their group. They're going to be more inclined to want to book you. They'll get little cash rewards, collectibles, some stuff like that. And it comes with a whole bunch of other kind of fun perks too, that basically drive more people to your games from that Morty, like mass audience. So things like making your listings more highlighted and showing availability, including you in the filter so that people can find your games. We give you some free sponsored listing credits, so you get bumped up to page 1. There's a bunch of good stuff. Contact me if you're interested in it. We're just right now trying to get everybody kind of signed up that's interested in Morty Pass. Again, just andy@morty.app. We've got hundreds of people on board, and it's going to be cool. I've got a hand raised, I think. Oh, I just raised my hand by accident. Let's see. Can we tell who raised their hand?
Jesse raised their hand.
Okay. Hey, Jesse. Where's Jesse?
It was a mistake. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
Okay. Cool. I have lots of slides in this deck, but I really just threw it together, and most of them are not relevant. So these are kind of the main things when it comes to Best of Morty. Questions about Best of Morty, questions about Morty in general. I see somebody DM me a question about who can use Morty Pass, which is right now Rezova, Bookio, and Zola. We've got full integrations with Fair Harbor we're working on now. Hopefully within about 2 weeks should be ready. off the couch we're talking to, and they should be ready for us hopefully soon, but harangue them if you use them. And yeah, what else? What other questions?
Jeff, go ahead.
Yeah,
Jeff.
curious if you see any trends in terms of like what types of games are winning in different markets. You know, like best practices kind of thing.
Good question. I'll say that I alluded to this a little bit, but like one thing that definitely gives you an edge in terms of ratings, somewhat unfairly, is incredible customer service. And like the more time you take probably on the debrief, and the more extroverted you are, and the more you connect with that person after the game, honestly is like a little bit of an outsized impact on what that rating is going to be and how many ratings you get. So that's a little bit of a non-answer to your question. In terms of, what types of games, let me see. We did a blog post. Our data scientist did a full kind of analysis at one point on what games, what themes are tending to be most popular. I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so so this is what the analysis revealed in terms of themes that were attracting more views. We looked at data over the last 12 months. We looked specifically at click-throughs onto those games as a proxy for interest. And we found that, I don't know if I can zoom this, but it looks like comedy and cartoon. We did our best to categorize every one of 50,000 attractions by theme, which is imperfect, but did a decent job, I would say. And comedy and cartoon were very high. Things like animals, which can be great for kids, cyber kind of dystopia, psychological horror. These were kind of topping a list. And if you find this blog post entry, you'll be able to see some specific examples of what each of these categories are. And then we looked specifically just at the new players on Morty. So a lot of owners said, that's cool, but enthusiasts, are not our bread and butter. Let's be real. They don't make us a ton of money. So just tell us about new players. And so we looked at taking the new players, what themes were trending upwards the most, rising. We again found comedy. We found medieval games, small town mystery. Office was kind of like themes on either the show The Office or something like it, candy, time travel. So check out this post. We also bisected it by enthusiasts, that kind of thing, what's trending upwards for them as well, and then what's trending downwards, and by how much, which for whatever reason, music, traditional like gothic horror, captive games, Victorian. This is by no means a perfect study. And, you saw how many users we've got. It's a good number, but this is our pass, and you shouldn't build your next game just based upon this, I would say. But it is probably useful at least to look at. I hope that sort of answers your question, Jeff.
Elude escape rooms, raise their hand.
Yeah, so we're based in Australia, obviously a lot smaller market than most with America, etc., and Europe. How does new people get onto Morty? Because I actually promote Morty a lot in my foyer. Everyone that comes in that's done a couple of rooms, I'm like, oh, do you have Morty? Like, do you keep track of it? Because everyone that walks in, I want to know how many rooms they've done. So I know I'm then gauging whether I'm giving them lots of clues, whether I'm not helping them at all. So my first question is, how many rooms have you done? And when they can't answer me, I'm like, oh, so you don't keep track of them? And so then I introduce them to Morty, explain to them that what it's all about and how they can track where they are. But how do you get new people on? Because not a lot of people have heard about Morty out here. So
yeah, we're trying to grow as fast as we can. It's been a pretty good 2 to 3x of the user base year over year, but most people hear about Morty I would say the majority of them hear about Morty from escape room owners or other players, right? So thank you for telling people. You are probably the biggest source of people finding out about Morty, because it's a perfect time when somebody says, I love this, I wish there were more of them, to just say, oh, well, here's all of them, right? And that's kind of the main value we provide, is just exposing how many great games there are out there. After that comes social media. And Google, it's tough for us to get really big on social, but we've had a video hit 1 million views on every major platform, on TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts, and then we have a lot of videos that get 300 views and die. But we're getting better at it. I think that as Morty kind of reaches the next phase that we want to get to, which is to start to add other types of immersive attractions, tiki bars, speakeasies, immersive art and immersive gaming, like quiz shows and like challenge arcade type things, all kinds of stuff like that. It should be a little bit easier for us to capture more of the mainstream audience, right? Because it's tough for just an escape room app to get huge, right? And for the general public to say, oh, I want that. It's a little bit easier if it's, hey, here's all the immersive stuff to do near you. And by the way, this app's kind of heart and soul, and all of our 1 million ratings and games logged are escape rooms. Like, we'll be driving most of them to escape rooms, so don't worry about that, I think. But I think that unlocks a growth inflection point for us when we can get there, hopefully sometime soon, and then helps bring in even more mainstream people. Kind of gave you not even the question you were asking, but yeah, like you guys are number one, referral from other people, and then social media, Google, that kind of thing.
Because if someone's done an escape room, they will find us, because once they know what an escape room is, they will actually then just Google escape rooms and find you. It's getting those people on board that don't know what an escape room's about in the first place.
Right, totally. Which is why if we can get to that point where we're just finding people that are saying, what do I do with my kids this weekend? Or what's something really cool that's going to just hold our attention for an hour?
Yeah.
We can capture those people. That's the perfect people to send to escape rooms. But it's a little bit more, it doesn't feel like an app that's as siloed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. Like, we can do a lot better at getting the word out to people. There's so many people that have played 50 escape rooms and have never heard of Morty that it's embarrassing for me. I don't know. Yep. I can't believe it. I see Jesse has a question on the chat. I'm just going to say, Jesse, just send me an email. Cool. What else can I ask? Any controversial questions about Morty? I love this. I'm happy to answer anything, or try to. Anybody currently angry at me?
Some people thinking about questions, I can tell you from my perspective why I really like Morty is it's a good conversation starter in a lobby, and it's a good also connection builder. So you see the group who've never played before, they really enjoyed your game, and part of the customer service, right, to like help them to get more of this escape room world, right? If you like this experience and you want to learn more, and by the way, especially if you travel and you're in a new city, how to choose the best escape room in town, like usually I will tell them, because the problem with escape rooms on Google, right, or even TripAdvisor, like every escape room has a great ratings, right? 4.8, like worst escape room probably going to still have 4.8 rating on Google, right? So there is no really differentiation. But on Morty app, you can see really, really, really deep difference between the games. And this is why I really like to suggest it, like, hey, if you don't have this app, well, download, especially when you're traveling, you're looking for best escape room in a city, you're gonna have access to it through the Morty app, and people really like it. Again, you're building this connection with the customers, and they're gonna feel that you gave them some additional basically value, right, through it.
Totally. Yeah, and we really try to represent, every one of your games and all the cool things that you guys are building as good or better than on your own website is kind of our goal and our yardstick, right? Like, we really want the stuff you're doing to look awesome and attractive. Please let us know if it doesn't. We always want to update images, update anything so that it represents the cool stuff you're creating as best as it can. But yeah, to your point, Dimitri, the like main aha moment users usually have when they open Morty is, I had no idea there were so many of these. I had no idea there were so many of these escape rooms. After they use it a little bit, it becomes, oh, I can tell, what's good or what's good for me, right? And then it becomes, I'm building my wish list. I'm finding my friends on there, that kind of thing. I just found some more kind of like some interesting stats that I had recorded at one point that I could share. Some, even like maybe unexpected things in here are that the main things that drive bookings on Morty, our data scientist did an analysis of this, and he found that number one is how far is it from me / how high is it in the Morty search results, which are the same thing because our default search order is by distance. So this is like, how close is it to me? Increases booking likelihood by a really good margin. Community score, or like how highly ranked is the game in terms of driving bookings, is significantly less actually than how close it is to me. That's not the main factor. Keep in mind, every single game, even the Terpeca top winners, gets a thumbs down once in a while on Morty. Don't take it as hard as a 1-star on Yelp. It's not the same thing. And it's also not the main factor correlated to actually getting bookings. What else? Return visitors, playing your venue again, is a big increase in bookings. Whether it's wish listed or not is a good increase. If their friends have played it, is about the same increase as whether it's wish listed. So, and then what else? Booking behavior on Morty. We found that 60% of bookings are within the same day, mostly kind of like pretty last minute bookings. And what else? Yeah, Morty users kind of tend to mainly just use Morty to decide what to book. And I would say like the majority of bookings, about 60% of them, with our booking integration feature, we found are actually on off-peak days, which is cool. I don't know why we didn't try to do that. We want to do that because we know that's good for owners, but the like Sunday to Thursday bookings are about 60% of the bookings. So that's cool. A quick owner checklist. Actually, this is useful also. If you haven't already, you should claim your business on Morty. If you find any of your games on Morty, you'll see there's either a little check mark next to it to show that you've claimed it, or there's a question mark. If you got a question mark, click it, claim your business. Then you can access our business dashboard. You can learn about ratings that you get every week. You can respond to reviews, all kinds of good stuff. It's totally free. Ask us for Morty materials, get your referral link, and get those materials that I mentioned. Yeah, these are things that are good to do.
Mike, you raised your hand.
Hi, Andy. Mike Rosinski here.
Hey, Mike.
So you wanted a controversial question. I'll get you one. I know Morty's very good for players searching for us, but you have a vast database of enthusiasts. Is there a way for us to potentially reach out to customers saying, hey, you checked in Vegas. Here's a code for this room. Or is that too controversial?
No. That's definitely not too controversial. I would say, we don't have a way to do that yet, right? For like owners to, the way to do that is to kind of sign up for Morty Pass and become a Morty Pass partner. And then we boost you up to the top with free ads every month, and they're more likely to kind of see you. So in a bunch of different places on the apps, that's a sort of passive way, right? That it's happening. But we would like to provide more ways of doing that, especially with like targeted discounts, like give the owners ability to offer, let's say, flash deals or something like that to certain people, or like a limited quantity of flash deals or something, and become in your area maybe something that people can compete for. If there's like 5 or 6 companies maybe that opt in and say, hey, we're willing to give away 10 $50 gift certificates a month. Not that many because it's a lot of money, but like we would do it 10 times and that'd be a marketing cost. And somebody could have a spinner and they would like potentially get to win. I feel like there's some cool ideas we could do to better promote folks that want to do things like that. But we're kind of open. Like we want more ideas like that. I don't think we could let you go and ping every user, but I would love for there to be ways that owners can better post to the community feed, and especially reach people in their area. And there's certain types of posts that I think could be really useful, like especially if there's a special offer, there's a new game opening, there's something cool to announce. We just have to figure out how do we let owners post either that feed to everybody or to people that follow them on Morty, and also make it so that it doesn't just become everybody just yelling, "Hey, come see my games," right? So like, would love any feedback, ideas people have on balancing that. Yeah.
Joshua Taylor.
Okay, thank you. So I'm running a little place out in Utah, Secret Combinations, and generally we all get along really well here in Utah with other escape room groups. And we do hope one year to be in the running for the Best of Morty prize, but we got a new player in the area that seems to be in the business of review bombing their colleagues. And so I wonder if so in Utah, there's not a lot of Morty users here. There are maybe like 70 ratings a room can get right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if we've got one or maybe even two more negative ratings than any of the other escape rooms around, is that going to tank us or tank that room permanently in Best of Morty? Or when it's the next year, is it not even going to matter anymore?
When it's the next year, it doesn't matter anymore as far as Best of Morty is concerned. So that's a nice thing there. Really good question though, and actually like something I'd love to discuss and just get feedback from owners on, right? Like I'll talk just briefly on kind of what are our policies around owners rating games and how does that all work? Because, we set some policies, we've updated them over time. We're continually trying to balance the two sides of Morty, which are the many, many players and the many, many owners that have claimed their businesses. And it's, like 1,700 owners, some odd, have claimed their business and use the Morty for Business dashboard. Okay, so we let owners rate games on Morty, right? Owners can have Morty accounts and can rate games. We thought that was fair because there are a lot of owners that are avid players, right? And they want to use the app. In our guidelines, you'll see we caution owners to think of the optics of you rating competitors. I personally wouldn't go around giving everybody thumbs down if I owned an escape room. so think about what that's going to do. And most owners, I would say, don't do that. But we won't take down an owner's rating if they seem to be honestly rating other attractions, even if it's negative. It feels like a targeted attack. It seems like, hey, this is a competitor and they're just, review bombing us and they're trying to lower our score. And they haven't even played these games. Let's say they played one of them, but not all of them. And they're clearly doing this. Please tell us, right? We will take down those ratings. We'll sometimes try to reach out. Depending on the situation, I'll reach out and try to contact them or not, right? Depending how obvious it is. If it's obvious fraud, we'll just usually take some action. If it's not, we're happy to sometimes reach out on your behalf. But let us know because we really want to know about that. We have some fraud algorithms, but they need to get better. We have ways to improve them and to improve the just the accuracy of and sort of reliability of every user on Morty. Things like requiring a phone number or making users that have verified their accounts better have more weight in the rating system are things that we're looking into doing and really want to do. For the time being, tell us if you think an owner's doing that. Along those community guidelines, if somebody is an employee at an escape room, they're not allowed to rate their own games at that company unless they indicate on Morty that they're an employee, right? And if they indicate it on their profile and mention it in the review, they can do that because some employees have never really played and they legitimately are doing that, but they have to indicate it. So that's kind of our defense against an owner with 10 employees just saying, okay, guys, give us all hearts. That's not allowed, right? We will take those down. If you fire an employee and they come back and they trash all your games, let us know. We will take that down. I probably have to do that twice a month, unfortunately. That's not allowed. So these are kind of our current rules and policies. We do let owners rate other companies. And that's probably the stickiest situation that I hear about often is, it's legit enough rating that I can't say that I'll get rid of it. But does anybody have any feedback on that? I would love it. I would love to hear. Do you guys feel like that current policy, as I stated, is fair? Should we be doing more? Knowing that we kind of also have to defend the, people speaking their mind and want to let people voice their opinions as well. What do you guys think?
Jonathan, raise your hand.
Hey, what's up, Andy? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm good. Good to see you.
Yeah, man. Good to see you too. Hey, just curious, like, what do you figure the percentage of that is? Because, as owners, we always tend to always look sometimes at those smaller things like that and really hold weight on them. My question is how much, like, percentage of that do you see versus the bad versus the good? Is it like less than 10% of users are doing, shady stuff like that to where it's not a huge weight, but it's enough to, to be an annoyance and a nuisance? Or is it more of it's becoming more of an issue to where now Morty feels like, you're having to upgrade? Or, what are you seeing in the trend since the app kind of launched, and has it kind of just plateaued? Is it, what's it doing?
It's still a low number. It's by no means 10%. I would say it's maybe low, very low 1 or 2%, if that, from what we can tell, probably less, right? Because we get hundreds of thousands of ratings. Is it increasing? Yeah, it's definitely been increasing year over year as Morty gets more popular and becomes more of a legitimate place for people to go. The bad actors are more incentivized to try to misuse it, and thus it's more work on our plate. The only conclusion there is we have to get better at it. We have to get better at fighting it, communicating about it. I think there's some ways we can do it automatically. Would a suggestion be like if like how like on Google you can like dispute like a review? Is there a way that is there an option for that we can streamline that process? Yeah, totally. If you check out our help documentation, which you can find in the app, if you I think if you hit our like support tab, there's all the docs under owners. What is it? Will Morty remove a false or defamatory review? There is an official form right there to report a review. So yeah, if you use that, I'll love you, because it has like, here's places to upload any evidence you have, right? It asks for links and all that stuff. So you can really package it together for us, and then we'll do an investigation. It often takes us several weeks to get through that. I apologize, but we're a team of 5, right, that are full-time. And then, so and I'm basically I'm the worst engineer. So I do everything, but everybody else is coding all day and I do everything else. But yeah, please use the form to report anything. I will tell you that, when I hear from an owner, this person, left all negative ratings on my games, and I'm sure that they never played my game. That's only actually true maybe 20% of the time. 80% of the time, they did play the game, and it's, people use all different email addresses when they sign waivers. The person that booked the game, right, often has 4 or 5 friends with them. One of them is the one that rated it. So usually when we investigate those cases, it's often a legitimate user. I'm often getting on the phone with them, and they're like, I've played 150 games. Please don't ban me. And I'm like, we believe. So I would say, yeah, like if you get a thumbs down and you're like, I think somebody's sabotaging me, let us know if you feel strongly about it. Just know that most of the time it's not, but you certainly know better than I do whether it's probably another owner or somebody doing that. So please do report it. Please let us know. We want to keep Morty as clean as possible. And yeah, what else? Tiffany said, would it be possible down the line to have a way to verify people actually play the room? So yeah, so there's kind of like 2 steps of verification here. One is, did the person, is this a real person? And as I mentioned, verifying phone number is a really good way for apps to tell that it's a real person, because it's fairly hard to get multiple phone numbers, and you can detect virtual numbers pretty easily. So it's a pretty good way to know it's one-to-one. Is there a way to tell they actually play the rooms? Bookings that happen through Morty, we know that they played the rooms, and so we'll probably change our weighting algorithm over time to favor people where we know for sure that they played it. Outside of that, it's possible that we could, just through like a booking system, a better booking system integration, try to match somebody. With the booking systems we're integrated with, we can look at the email address of bookings and we can try to match that to the Morty user. It's not going to be perfect though, because as you guys know, people have 5 different emails that they use for stuff, and that person has an average of 3 other players with them. And what are the odds those people use the same emails? So we can try to do that matching, and I would love to try it actually. I don't know how accurate it'll be. Probably like 30%, or less, maybe 20 or 30% is my guess, kind of. So it's probably worth it, but I don't know how to make it fail safe, unless you guys do. If somebody's got an idea, let us know. We're open to trying to do crazy things. But yeah, good question, Tiffany. And Joshua, I saw you had another question too. If nobody else has anything on this topic.
Yeah. Another thing I noticed, something that can be kind of daunting, making a new escape room on Morty, is there are a lot of other rooms that have been around for a really long time, and no matter how good your room is, people probably aren't going to see it for a while because everyone else is ahead on the review count. But if I understand right, the number of reviews from previous years does not hold much weight in the Best of Morty Awards. If you're getting enough reviews and they're all good that year, you're at no disadvantage because it's a newer room.
That's right. Yeah, we really don't, again, want to have the inertia of old winners mean that they just keep winning, because that's not, it's only good for those companies, right? that were amazing in 2018, but it's better for everybody, I think, if it's, like that was last year and this is this year. So yeah, you're totally right. In terms of people finding your games on Morty, you're right. That, if I were to look at, I'll just pull up Morty for web real quick here.
I have noticed that rooms that do well, they do tend to rank higher if they're really good, even if they don't have as many as some other options, which I do appreciate.
That's good. That means that we're doing a good job with the rating algorithm. We tend to be pretty directionally accurate, I think, which is why users keep coming back. So, and we're always trying to get better. So we're always open if you have ideas to improve it. But yeah, in terms of, let's say a new game opening, whether it's new or not is not really going to affect where it is on this list, and the distance is the default sort order. Some people will change that, but by default, people are looking at what's closest to me when they use Morty. So even though this game has only 4 ratings, people are just as likely to see it, as Get Out games that has 5 times as many. So just know that in terms of what we're presenting to people, the default view, there's no real preference, I would say, for new versus old, but certainly a user will look at this and they'll see it. Oh, it's only 4. So yeah, try to get more ratings as quickly as you can when you open a new game. When you get into the double digits, it unlocks different rating tiers. Like you can actually get different. I think mostly positive is the max that this game can get until it reaches maybe 10 ratings or something like that. Let me see there's actually an article on that specifically. If you click on this info button next to ratings, it should open it. And here we show you, right? This is how many you need, actually 50 or more ratings to get overwhelmingly positive. Once you got more than 5, you can get very positive. But you need a lot of ratings to get that highest sort of like label on your game. And you'll probably notice we stole this directly from Steam. We've been inspired by we try not to do a 5-star rating system because we don't think that it really applies that well to escape rooms, which are very subjective. It's not, this game is good or bad. It's like this, I had a great time because I woke up on the right side of the bed, because it's the right theme for me, because I love the team I was with. And so we figured like, hey, 4.1 stars versus 4.2 tells you nothing, which is why we try to make our rating system a little bit more, aware of the subjectivity, I would say.
So,
yeah.
On this default view, then, is it also kind of similar in Best of Morty in that previous years don't hold as much weight?
I don't think so. We plan on introducing that factor into our rating algorithm, but I don't believe we do yet. And it's on our list to do that. Yeah.
And that's starting from January 1st when it counts New Year and all of that.
With Best of Morty, it is. With the actual like product pages and the ratings there, I don't think that the year is factored in. On that blog post, it will say it does factor in how experienced are the players that are playing those games. There are a few weightings that we do in our algorithm, but I don't believe recency is one of them yet. And I really want it to be, so we will do that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. I don't know who's next. Jennifer, there you go.
Can you just talk about, as far as Best of Morty, thumbs down, hearts, thumbs up, how does it, if somebody has 0 thumbs down, but they tend to have more thumbs up, are they going to be better placed than somebody who has more hearts, but also has a variety of thumbs down?
That's a really good question. Yeah, I believe that we do weight it. We do a weighting on that. Actually, I should have included that on my slide because I think that is a factor for Best of Morty and also for the ratings that you see on product pages. Let me find that element here. Gosh. It should be in here somewhere. Okay, I might have to find a different page and send it out. Okay, here's an article to learn how the rating system works. I'll just sum it up and say, yeah, you're correct. We do look at players. How experienced is that player, right? If they're more experienced, their rating does count for a little bit more. And we also look at how positive or negative is that player, right? If that person is like extremely positive, this is a very minor factor. So it's like not really enough to game things, I would say, but it's a tiny little boost. It could be a tiebreaker maybe. Like if there's a lot of players who are extremely, heart savvy, right? And they're just hitting heart button every time, a heart counts for a little bit less than a player that's maybe got more mixed ratings, right? And a player that gives some thumbs downs and some thumbs ups and some hearts. A heart counts for a little bit more from that person. So we try to automatically adapt to how people use our rating system because we know thumbs down, thumbs up, heart, these mean slightly different things to different people. Some people almost never give a heart. And so we want to use it how they're trying to use it, which is to say this is one of my top 5 games in the world. Other people give them all the time. That's great.
So, but my question kind of was on the room's side. Would a room be more likely to be higher ranked if it has no thumbs down but has more just thumbs up, or would it be more likely that the room that has lots of hearts but also lots of thumbs down be higher rated? Not lots of thumbs down.
That is such a good question. I don't know the answer. We'd have to take it in a case by case and look at it. Yeah, it's a really good question. Probably the former case is a little bit better. If it's lots of thumbs up, and no thumbs downs, it probably does it a little better than somebody that's got some hearts and some thumbs downs and a mix of those. We tend to see the heart thumbs down combo more with games that are controversial, right? Is where you see that, which often you'll find that with horror games that are really scary. There's those people that are just terrified and they're going to give it a thumbs down and they're like, this was incredible, totally immersive, peed my pants, hated it, thumbs down, whatever, right? So the controversial games, you tend to see that. Those often are interesting games, right? Because it's what is happening there that's making such a divisive stance? But it's probably better to have, fewer thumbs downs, right? And more thumbs ups.
One other really quick question. Is there kind of for rooms that don't get the the number of players that other rooms get just because of location or things.
Yeah.
Even I'm in Southern California, but I'm off the beaten path, so I don't get the number of players that other Is there kind of like a minimum number of ratings before we're even going to be considered in? Because I'm guessing like the rooms that you were showing that only have 4 ratings probably don't have a chance. What's kind of that threshold where we might actually have a hope?
There's no minimum for you. It really depends on how you compare to others, again, in that like geographic region where you're kind of competing, right? You're not competing in Southern California against games in Georgia, but you are competing against games in California. And so you're in one of the toughest markets in the world for Best of Morty. I'm sorry. So that does make it really tough. But maybe we should break things down even more regionally with these awards. I think that could be good to do, is to try to draw some dividing lines around metro areas and I don't know, or non. We haven't done it yet, right? But yeah, the more ratings, the better for sure. Get as many as you can to try to land that. And I love to. Where are you exactly? I'm in Southern California. I'm curious.
I'm in Hemet in the Inland Empire.
Cool. Yeah, totally. Yeah. Tougher to get the numbers for sure, but we do get people that are winning awards that are in super remote areas, and we do have some folks that say that they get the majority of their bookings from Morty, and they're in Colorado Springs, or they're like, I think there's somebody in the Inland Empire. There's like 3 or 4 companies that have told me that, which is bonkers, right? Can't happen in most areas given the user numbers, but yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Jonathan was next, Paranoia Quest.
All right. I'll ask these quick because I know there's a lot of other people that want to have questions, and I want to give everybody opportunity and share Andy with the world. So 2 things. One, Andy, just to touch on a question earlier, would it be possible for Morty to add a really cool feature where like new escape rooms pops up and it's like a cool little dot like in the area that you're searching? Like, could that be something that could draw attention to that area to help all the new rooms that are opening? Because I think every owner would be on board for that. I think that would be huge just to have that feature available.
Totally. Yeah. Right now we do a push notification. This is for people that are part of the Morty Pass partner program. We do a push notification anytime you open a new game to everybody in the area. So it's just a blast to all those users. It can be hundreds, people, it can be thousands, depends where.
Could it be done like visually on the map though, where there's stars where and it just has a thing if you see a star, new game,
I would love to do a design experiment and try it on the map. The other thing we've been thinking of doing is introducing a screen on Morty that's a little bit more of a passive discovery experience, because Morty's very active. I open it, I see a map, right? Which is good if you're I'm into this, what should I do? But most apps open to a page that has some shelves, different types of content. And they're here's what's hot and new. Here's, because you liked this thing, here's some stuff like it, right? Here's something that's similar to escape rooms, but different, right? Or here's what your friends love, right? So we would love to have, and our data scientists would love to build that screen when you first open the app to just try to pull you in different directions a little bit more easily without you having to go into the hunt right away, probably. So I think that's the most likely place we probably start to put that. It's what's hot and what's new is on that screen. Yeah.
Awesome. Second question, and then I'll end it, let everybody else have their piece. To speak to Jennifer's comment, I think 2 things could help. One is obviously, like you said, the rotating motor award. So once one of the big guys gets that opportunity and they get the award, it gives, Jennifer an opportunity, because now it's that same person can't win. So eventually at some point, there's that opportunity to get the Morty award. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's that opportunity, especially if they're not going to be able to get the same award every year. It does spread it around a lot better to to other people in the area. It gives them a chance. But I wonder if, like you said, the regional, you kind of touched on that. I think maybe in the bigger markets, maybe California, New York, I would even argue North Carolina. Yeah, exactly. If you were able to do subcategories for those major markets, that would help out a little bit, because like you said, you're in a very tough thing, and is that quite fair necessarily? No, but giving them that opportunity to have that option would be cool. I think it would be fair for everybody involved.
Totally. Yeah. I think that's something that'd be cool to consider. Yeah, I found it hard. And if anybody knows the way to do this, like, let me know. We struggle oftentimes when we're trying to like break things down in a metro region way or something like that, because there's no clear boundaries to that geographically. Right. And so, but I think we could do it. I think we could figure it out. So I really like the idea. Yeah. It's awesome.
Marty Roberts.
Oh yeah, sorry guys. I'm really new to you guys. I'm just learning. This is our first year in business in Branson. So we
cool. Congrats.
Opened our sixth escape room. So we're just kind of getting on board with you guys and got invited. That's why I came, but was just kind of wondering about your awards. I mean, what do you do when someone's really, really new? So do you guys go to like if you went to our Google page and you looked up our star rating, I mean, it's just like really phenomenal, but we're so new, right? And we haven't even gone through our summer yet. We have like, I'd say 146, 147 5-star review, but we haven't even hit, I mean, like in 3 weeks, we're going to hit our massive 9 million visitor plateau, like mini Vegas, comes through. So how do you judge the smaller markets that are new, that are just not getting on board with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, because we're judging you against folks in your market, if it's a market that has less Morty users, you are at least being judged against the other businesses in your area. So I guess that's the good news. But yeah, in terms of getting more of those ratings, I don't know. Do you ask people to rate you on Morty after they play, or are you mostly pushing people to Google at this point?
Well, we've been pushing people to Google because, like I said, we are so new to Morty that, I mean, when I say new, we're like a week. We just found out about you guys, and so we're obviously interested. We want to plug into the community, right? It's a community worldwide. So I say globally because I travel all over the globe and play in escape rooms everywhere. So I do it when I go everywhere. So, and I've played them pretty much everywhere. Hong Kong will be my last one here coming up in October. So I'll be doing some over there, or if they have them available. But so I just kind of, like I said, we're brand new, so we haven't really pushed QR codes or anything towards Morty. And, we're just trying to set up through that process and grow, obviously, the business as well. So we think that obviously, you guys got a really good handle on escape rooms, right? So you've been doing this a long time. So we're just trying to get, plugged in with the community and figure it out.
Yeah. If I were a new owner, right, like knowing everything I know about Morty and other platforms out there, definitely I would, add my business on Google My Business, I'd worry about SEO. I'd make sure my address is on my website, all that good stuff. And I would probably I'd probably push my earliest users to rate me. I would start with Google or Google and Yelp or Google and TripAdvisor, depending where you're located. But at the same time, I would also claim my business on Morty, at least, so that I can start to be aware of ratings as they trickle in every week on Morty. Are people rating us? Yep. And then sometime with, I would potentially sign up to take bookings on Morty, because that's going to get you a push notification for all of your new games that just open. So it's going to be a free blast to everybody in the area. And then, over the first few months, I would initiate, let's add a QR code for Morty or something too. Let's get Morty materials and let's add that to our process for somebody that seems right. If they've played 3 to 5 games, right? If they played a few games, or they come out and they're like, that was amazing. How can I do more of these? And they're that person, those are the people my staff should engage about Morty. Everybody else, I got to build my Google reputation, whatever. I
just wondered how you guys went about new companies. So
Marty, I can advise you on this. I can tell you, we have a script where we talk to each customer after the game, and we have like a pre-introduction greeting where we build it up like, hey, if you're going to have a great experience I'm hoping you're going to be able to review us and give us a good review. And then after the game, we ask them, hey, did you have a good experience? Okay, awesome. So we would love you to review us on Google. Go ahead and take your phone, and I would guide them to the page where to leave the review. Right, I'll wait for it, and I'll also tell them, my owner, reads every review, so mention my name. I'm gonna actually, I'll be able to get a bonus or something else, like, if you mention my name. So they mention the name, they do the review right there, and this is how you can get a lot of reviews really, really quick. Talk to each person, and then after that, as part of the conversation, by the way, if you like this escape room and you didn't play many escape rooms, I suggest download the Morty app, and again, help them to go to the Google Play or whatever Play Store, or if they use Apple Store, and help them to find the app, download it right there while you're talking to them. Again, it also builds like customer service, right? And then you don't have to even ask them to rate, because as soon as they download, as soon as they open, like Andy was saying, first escape room going to pop up is closest to the area. It's going to be your escape room if you register there. And I can guarantee you, even without asking, they're going to probably do the rating, Or you can just say, and you know what, if you're going to rate us on a Marty app, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and we're looking forward to see you back. And boom, you're their best friend. They just had an incredible experience. Why not to, leave their review? So this is what I would suggest.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dimitri.
N. Smith.
Hey there. We were talking about the regions area earlier, and a lot of the bigger states, Florida for sure, already has areas that are known, like the Panhandle, or North Florida, or South Florida, or Central Florida. There's a generally accepted regions already, and if we were to use those, it would help everybody, because then Orlando is only competing with Orlando, Tampa, and then the people in Miami and the people in Jacksonville are not competing with Orlando anymore. And Texas has the same thing. California has the same thing. These big areas already have generally accepted areas that are already broken up, by talking to the locals, or, hey, if I was going to Florida, oh, well, stay away from Central Florida unless you want to go to the rat place, kind of.
Totally. Yeah, I think you're right. And I think to the degree that we can use that terminology on Morty, it's better for everybody, because like people in that area, it's more familiar, just like makes people, it's easier for them to use an app that really use their terminology. There's a lot of localization we have to do. For those of you that are in the US, you've noticed that like everything is still in miles. I'm so sorry. Like we need to make it so it's automatically in the right unit of measure in other countries. Also, we've tried to make it so that when it lists, next to the venue, this is the city that it's in, so that it uses kind of the right terminology there too, because sometimes it will list, like the region within a city, right? And other times it won't, or sometimes it'll just say the country. And we try to do the best we can using Google's geolocation API to pull the right stuff, but it's really hard to write an algorithm using at least Google's API that gets it right every time. So some people in the UK, it's like kind of weird. People in the UK have told me like, actually, we just know postal codes, which I don't know if that's true. They're just like, yeah, we just know the postal code, just put that. So I think we can improve upon that as well. There's a lot we can do to localize. And of course, language, Morty's used, outside of the US and a lot of countries where English is a primary language. It gets use in other countries where it isn't, but it'll be a lot better when we can automatically translate too. So I don't know why I'm ranting about that, but you're right. Yeah, I think it would be cool to, before the next Best of Morty, if we can, do a little experiment and try to cluster things, right, based on like the regions, and give that a go.
Okay, it's been an hour, so now I think if there is any more question, like maybe let's ask last question and start wrapping up.
Dan, you have a question? Dan Frost?
Hi, I was just going to add on to Dimitri's comment there of building up the customer relationship. we've got our Morty QR code set up beside a load of local escape room leaflets, and we find by referring people into Morty, it feels more community orientated. We are promoting their future escape room adventures. It just so happens that we've got the advantage of their on site, so they come up with our location first. We're confident that we've got good rating because they've also got the energy from having done the room recently. It's a really good way of being able to take a vested interest in your customers so that you're not afraid to share the other local escape rooms and they can make their own decisions. We said to customers even today, there's so much stock imagery that goes into promotion of escape rooms that you don't actually know whether a room is going to be good or whether it's not. But that rating system, it's so easy to do, just to add the heart, the thumbs up, or sometimes the thumbs down, to make customers that are picking future experiences have confidence that what experiences they're picking are going to be good. And because they feel it is in their interest, they'll continue to support it, which is brilliant.
Yeah, really insightful. A lot of good insights there. 100%. When they pull up Morty, yes, they're going to be able to find your competitors, but they're looking at your business first based on the geolocation. They're probably going to rate the game. They're probably going to leave a positive rating. And there's a good chance they're going to wish list your other games right then and there, right? If they don't book it on site already, show them the wish list feature, right? Like, oh, this is a cool game to do. Add it to your list. And yeah, definitely, you guys have heard this a million times, but I really want every escape room owner to be friends with their local competitors. Please be friends with your competitors. It's easy to initiate. Just ask them for their flyers and put them in your lobby, right? They'll probably ask for yours, and then like, this is right. It's a great industry in that regard, in that you can work with others in a really collaborative way, and the incentives are not to keep that customer to yourself because you only see them 5-6 times. Yeah. Jonathan.
All right, last thing. Actually, to speak on that, we actually just testimonial. We just had a customer this past week. They played 5 rooms with us. They just started playing games. They were only 3 games in. They played ours and were like, oh my gosh, we love these so much. And we did our spiel where we go over everything with them, do the review. And then we mentioned Morty. They got on the app, and then I literally walked them through and I was like, look how amazing this is. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so great. We've been looking for something like this. So like, they don't even realize yet what you're about to give them. And then what I told them was, I said, the best thing is after you leave this review, you can come back and play our other games, and you can literally build your catalog of games. And no joke, they ended up booking 3 more times that week and played the rest of our games. And I don't think that's coincidence. I think that literally has to do with the fact that I gave them something. Customers are always going to appreciate something that you give of value, and they're going to reciprocate, right? So I think that's what I saw the benefit of Morty for us, is not just helping our business, but it also helps the community. But also it drove in, without me having to spend any marketing dollars at all, 4 more extra visits that got me 4 more extra bookings. So it's all about perspective. And I think if you're new to the area and that's not really big yet, you have all the opportunity in the world to grow it in your market, and you will be known as the guy that brought Morty to your area. And it'll start to become more and more big, which means it's going to put you at the highest regard in the area because you grew that Morty community in your area.
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing. That's really cool. Yeah, Morty definitely creates escape room addicts who empty their wallets into your business. So, you have the responsibility of turning new players into repeat players. And I know that it's tough. Escape rooms are a tough business. Every person that walks through your door is a different experience. It's a lot of work. And yeah, our job we see as taking people when they hit Morty, similar to you. We want to make sure that they just keep playing escape rooms, do more and more of them. And we make it as easy as we can to guide them in the journey of, I've played a couple games. Oh, there's a lot of these too. Oh, I've played a few games. Here's what I want to do next, or here's what looks great, to okay, this is part of my identity now. And I'm looking at the feed and I'm like, my friends are doing this, and here's like how many games I've played, and I'm getting badges. And now we have 5 people that have gotten tattoos of different Morty badges on their bodies. So yeah, people, there's a nice pipeline that we try to create, and we're still getting better at, but like to guide people through loving escape rooms and immersive stuff. I see a question from Jesse. Do you have badges for customers who complete regions or specific markets for Morty players? We did what we've tested. We've tested some regional badges that you can only get if you play like these 6 games in Boise we did, and we did another one in Boston and one in Las Vegas. That was really cool. What we found is that it's very hard to maintain these things, because a business goes under, unfortunately, or the staff is just not fully trained and they turn over, and people show up and they ask for the where's the thing I can scan, and nobody knows. I'd like to reintroduce that feature, but make it something that just happens automatically, and we probably just trust the player that they're logging honestly those games to get that badge. So I'd like to reintroduce it. Also, yeah, Morty Pass is going to show a stamp for each game they've played after they book it and play that game. And so that's another way to kind of show like, okay, these are all the games that I've done, and look back on it. But that's what we've got planned right now. Yeah, it's like reintroduction of those trails at some point, and maybe even having like special kind of like punch cards that you can get once you get through the first one that might be regional, or that might be based on specific things. Like, okay, now I want to get the Las Vegas, badge. So I'm going to choose that as my challenge for my next punch card. Or I want to get the Scary Games badge. So I'm going to choose that. And now I have to get 20 stamps at Scary Games or something. But that's just ideas. So hit me with your opinions. I'd love to hear other ideas or feedback on that, or anything else I've said. We're really trying to learn from the Morty community and from the owner community as much as we can. So we always love feedback. Please send it. Owners are much harder to reach than players because you're busy all the time. Whereas the players are always hitting us up. So if you ever have thoughts, please don't hesitate to reach out. Shoot us an email, a message, because yeah, I definitely want to know whatever you're thinking if you have 10 minutes to write it to me. Dan Frost, a few players have asked to log times too. You can log times on Morty. Once you mark the game played, you go and you edit details, and then you can add your time. You can tag other players you've played with. You can answer 12 questions and go crazy in depth. You'll see some of the reviews. People will answer 20 questions and they're like crazy, like detail and everything. You can upload images. There's a lot you can do. There's some things you can't do, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. I should probably have a little video just for owners that covers a lot of this. I should probably have a 5-minute video of here's Morty, here's the main features, how to use it, and then here's what you should do. So yeah. Cool. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for attending today. If you want a recording of this, we'll be posting it on our blog at blueapplelaunchpad.com. So if you go there, you can check it on the blog. Also, you can just text me, and once we upload it and cut it up, we'll send it over as well. But thank you everyone for joining, and thank you, Andy, for taking your time and explaining the secrets of Morty. We appreciate that. And everyone, get on Morty Pass so you can start getting notifications for new rooms and stuff, and just keep growing.
Cool. Thanks for hosting, Austin. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for helping make Morty bigger. And yeah, please shoot me an email. Anybody, Andy@morty.app. I'd love to chat anytime. Thanks all. Appreciate your time. See you guys.
Thank you, everyone.
See ya.